today we start the walls. You know, one of the things you have to decide when you're using pallets is, are you going to strip the wood off the pallets and build it normal stick style, or are you going to use the whole pallet and you know, just attach it to the walls like this, or are you going to attach it to the floor like this? You know, you got to decide. I've decided to do it this way because I got a whole bunch of pallets and they pretty much match line for line, and so I'm going to build it like this, and we're going to see how that works. You know, I don't want this to look like a stack of pallets when I'm done. I want it to actually look like a normal, pretty much like a normal building, and we'll see how that works out. But let's, you know, I'm going to start going at it and see what happens. Okay, so I measured the walls here. I'm trying to figure out how tall to make them. The first pallet is 4 foot tall, so all the pallets are 4 feet this direction. And then the next board is 6'1" up, and I think for the back wall with the shed type roof, this is going to be a perfect wall height, because most people, you know, top out around 6 foot, and so they're not going to be standing against the back wall, so it'll all be good. So I'm going to cut this off right here, and that'll be our wall height. And there we go, 6 foot tall, 1 inch back wall. Now I just got to do this again, and then we'll stand them up and screw them in place. Now when you're ready to screw your pallets together, you want to line them up on a flat surface and clamp them in place so they don't move. And then screw them together from the back side, because you got room to get your screw gun in there. Well, here we go with a nice section of wall. It's 6'1" at the top up here, and you know, it's starting to look pretty good. I just need to continue this all the way around, cut some window holes, a few other things. And one important thing is to make sure that our very first one is nice and square, because if this first one isn't square, nothing is square. Now I know this is, you know, made out of pallets, and you know, pallets aren't exactly, you know, the epitome of construction excellence, shall we say, as far as being square and equal and everything the same, and that's part of the rustic charm. However, when you're building anything, it's best to make sure you start out essentially plumb. And the way we're going to do that here is, I've got my first wall section here, and it is set on top of the 4x8 platform, and I'm going to square it up with a platform. I'm going to start by right here putting a screw here and a screw here, because I've lined this edge up with the bottom of the sheet of 4x8 goods, and you'll notice up here I've got a nice gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to anchor that in and then force this whole thing over to line it up with this edge so it's relatively square, and then I'm going to brace it with a triangular brace to make certain that it stays that way, and that'll set the tone for the rest of the project. There, now we have a nice square wall. One down, a whole bunch to go. And next time, I will show you how to take boards off of pallets, how to take a pallet apart without destroying everything, because as anybody who's tried this knows that, you know, it can just end in disaster. You start out with a beautiful pallet and you end up with kindling, and that's really not the purpose here. As you can see, this is working out well. I've been able to pull boards apart and pull them off of the pallets without breaking them to pieces and be able to reuse them. So that's what we'll cover next time.